It's a sad, sad day, as my Samsung NX30 is no more. Coming back from my New York trip, where a bunch of Pocket Now editors were out there to cover the Galaxy S8 launch. Came back to LA, started shooting a few more video pieces. I've had some reviews on my plate this week, and just the video output looked a little funny. And then I started noticing on a bunch of my shots there was this sort of fog or this shadow running diagonal through the frame of the camera. And I take the lens off, and that's when I see it. A giant crack through the filter that lives on top of the image sensor. And that left me proper screwed. As I'm investigating what I'm gonna do about fixing this problem, I'm getting more and more and more frustrated. I knew this was eventually going to happen. Last year, Samsung announced they were officially walking away from the standalone camera market. That decision from the manufacturer leaving me totally high and dry. See, this NX30 was my replacement for my Canon 7D. As my photography needs changed and as I started producing more video for YouTube, I needed kit that was better focused on that video production. And it was around the time that I had picked up this camera that the NX1 had just been announced. And that was really exciting as that offered me an upgrade path as I started exhausting the capabilities of this camera. If I wanted to start climbing into 4K video, I would have options out in front of me. As Samsung had demonstrated evolution, there were a number of NX cameras out before this one. There was at least some reasonable assumption that Samsung would be sticking around for a while, at least enough for me to go through another camera body or two. And I bought in hard. The NX30 came with this little kit lens. Obviously, I've got a pancake prime on here, and I went out and bought another prime, and I went out and bought another prime. And of course, you have to have a decent reach, a longer zoom lens to go with any kind of camera system. And now, all of this glass, pretty much useless. And I mean totally high and dry, so as to not have any weird imperfections in my videos. I finished up my last couple of reviews on Pocket Now using an LG V20, just so I'd have some really nice crispy video quality to share with you folks. I bought in hard, Samsung walked away from me, and I'm pretty grouchy about that, because really, I knew I was going to have to leave the Samsung ecosystem and move to another manufacturer, another system. I was kind of hoping, fingers crossed, maybe Canon would catch up on some of their camera bodies with the video features that I was most interested in. Instead, they went off on cinema camera experiments, which, outside of my price budget, and right now I'm shooting this on a Panasonic G85. It's my very first experience with a Panasonic shooter. So I'm borrowing the G85 from a friend who I'm super jealous of because they just got their G85 and they just happen to have this camera kicking around for me to use for a couple days. If I dig it, then I'll probably end up getting one of my own and I'll make the transition over to Micro Four Thirds. This is not the way I really wanted to move up into shooting 4K content, but hey, if you get lemons, make some lemonade. I'll be using this camera to produce a few more videos on this channel, and you'll probably be seeing footage from this camera end up over in my Pocket Now content too. And I'm just really bummed out. I liked my NX30. This was a killer little camera. And because I'm angsty about wasting stuff, I don't want this to just become e-waste. I am going to be looking at what it's going to cost to potentially repair this camera, although I'm really anxious about throwing additional money, good money after bad. See, I need to make the transition. I need to make the jump. So anything more that I spend on this thing is really just money that's going to be keeping me away from the lenses and the batteries and the accessories that I'm going to need moving to a new camera system. See, that's what sucks about having been excited about Samsung's system here. And it's why Canon and Nikon are still viewed as being safe bets. You get in that conversation with someone who wants to step up their photography, they want to learn about light and composition, and they ask you what kind of hardware you should invest in. Well, I mean, even though that Canon isn't my favorite anymore, it's really easy to recommend a Canon body because there's a ton of different camera bodies out there at a variety of price points and that they can always count on a huge selection of lenses. It's super doubtful that the Canon EF system is going away anytime soon. And it's also why I'm feeling a little bit more confident about Micro Four Thirds is that there are several manufacturers playing with Micro Four Thirds lens mounts. Super flipping bummed, but hopefully something cool comes out of this and we'll have some new kit to talk about coming up soon. Also be on the lookout because this is the first of a series of videos that I've got some other ranting I need to do on other things, especially in terms of like YouTube production and partnerships and MCNs, as I'm going to be getting out of a contract soon. We're going to have a little bit more to discuss, and I don't know, maybe I'll just create a whole new series of videos how I really feel about things. We can let the veil drop on some of the production that goes into producing content for YouTube, and you guys get more of me getting twitchy and ranty, so that's a win-win. As always, folks, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more of my ranting and a few more accessory videos that I've got coming up. And I also want to start producing a little quick look at a series of things like disaster prep, how we can use technology to better protect ourselves in those times where we're confronted with tragedy or with crazy circumstances. So definitely check that out. That's going to be something I'm going to be excited to produce because I have a family that lives in a really earthquake-prone state and some scary stuff. You can catch all of my smartphone, tablet, and wearable content over on PocketNow, pocketnow.com, the PocketNow YouTube channel. We've got some cool stuff coming up there. As you know, we're going to be getting ready to start producing Galaxy S8 videos and reviews and comparisons, everything you wanted to know about that company's smartphone, since they're leaving me out in the cold in terms of cameras, but I'm sure that won't influence my phone coverage in the slightest. There are links down below this video how you can support production on this channel, shopping on Amazon, or checking out my book, Take Better Photos, Smartphone Photography for Noobs, how you can take a step up in the content that you produce from your phones. You can track me down on Twitter and Facebook as Some Gadget Guy, and I will catch you all on the next video.